Right then, so the draw then. There's all the names, number 1 to 11. And we're going to go 1 to 11 there. We're going to generate the number. And that is number 2. Going off to number 2. That's Tara Wilcox. Well done, Tara. You're the winner of the KTM belt.
Alright then, ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel, my 578 subscribers. Today I just fancied getting some mileage under the belt on the bike. I've had a short weekend this one, so I thought I'd talk to you about the bike, why I chose it over the 125 and sorry, not the 125, over the 150 and the 250 Husqvarna, and the KTM as well. Why I went over, why I didn't go for the KTM, you know, because pretty much similar bikes, sister companies and all that, sister companies, and in terms of that, the brand thing, I never actually went out to buy a Husqvarna. I went out to buy the KTM. I went out to buy the KTM 300 TPI, if I'm honest. And the shop that I went to in, I think it's Mid Wales, maybe West Wales, somewhere up that way, Rhyadr anyway. The place I went to didn't have any in stock. So I couldn't wait because I wanted to get rid of my Yamaha 4-stroke 250 beast and get a 2-stroke. So right then, a brief introduction to my bike, my previous bikes. I've had a KTM EXCF 250. That was a 2014 model. And I bought that in 2015, so it was a year old, but it had a lot of jobs have been botched on it, so I had to spend a bit of time and a bit of money, not loads, but just changing it to make it right again. From there I said I'll never buy an old bike again unless it's a project, and I haven't, in all fairness. The second bike that I bought, which was the same, like, I kept the KTM to have another person ride with me basically. But I bought the WR 250F, the Yamaha, and that bike was a big old beast. It's a 250 as well, but the size on it, you know, is huge compared to these things, and compared to the KTM as well. It's taller and it's wider, and man, it just used to tire me out, like, not from, like, you know, the power of it or anything, but just from it being so bloody big and heavy. And when it got hot, you couldn't start it, so if you were on a hill, you'd be there for ages. And that was the final straw one day, was all the lads on 2-strokes had gone off, and I had just put my backside down and decided I'd chill out and have a bottle of water until the bike cooled down, and then I took my bike back down the hill and went up the little path and met them all at the top. But by then I was already drained fighting that bloody big beast. In comparison to these bikes, it's huge. Anyway, I went from there, I sold that bike, sorry no, I sold the KTM and I traded the Yamaha in, and I bought this Husqvarna, and I'm glad I did it. There was a oh my god, why is this thing stalling all the time? There was an element of me wanting to get rid of my own about. There was an element of me wanting to buy the 150, and when I mentioned it to my cousin who actually has the 150 KTM, he said to not bother. He said to just get a 300 because you won't be left asking any questions. And I did, as you know. Oh, it's one of those days. So while I just get my breath back I went for the 300, the 150. I've seen them since, seen people riding them since, seen my cousin riding his since, and they on that accelerated a lot. I didn't want to be ragging a bike everywhere to get it to go somewhere. I wanted something with a bit of low down power, and I got it. The only thing is, obviously, when your bike decides it wants to do its own thing, it sends it. So yeah, 300cc. Would that have happened with the 250? Probably, more than likely actually, because they are mental as well. Would it have happened with a 150? Probably not. The only thing is, now this is a little bit heavier for me to pull out of the bushes, and I'm kind of hoping I still got a clutch lever, because that's that's dug in there quite deep, like getting in nice and deep, like. Sorry for the breathing, guys. Good thing is I haven't snapped my fender. I'm just hoping I haven't snapped the subframe. Clutch lever's still there. I've been waiting for the day for that to happen, to be honest with you. So, right, for some reason as well today, it seems to behaving like it's not warming up. It's just bogging and then it's stalling, which is not ideal. So I need to have a read into that. Oh, you can see, you can pull me along in like low revs, no problem at all. But yeah, the only question I asked basically, which is where I was getting to before my bike decided to venture off into the woods. The only question I've been asking myself is this too much power for me? And a lot of the times I think it is, but I think, to be honest with you, the places I'm asking that question is not in the right places. I think the issues I'm having is just me not being confident on a bike, not being comfortable. I'm not a dirt bike rider, never have been, and I've had road bikes before this, so every day is a learning day for me. And I think as long as you pick a bike that's right for you, it's all down to personal preference with everything, do you know what I mean? That's why different people wear different trousers and different trainers and everything. You know, if you want a 2-stroke, you buy a 2-stroke. If you want a 4-stroke, you buy a 4-stroke. If you want both, do it. You know, but I think you can't say some people are wrong because they ride a different bike to you. You know what I mean? Alright, how you doing? Hello. Come on. Hello. Oh, Smiler. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Hello. So yes. Sorry about that. I just chatting with a local with the Dalmatians. But yeah, you pick whatever bike you want. You know what I mean? As a guide for me, as someone who's quite a bit older and not into actually wringing the bike's neck everywhere I go, the 300 is fine. As you can see, it can do its own thing when it wants to. If you want predictability in power or power delivery, you know, then the 4-stroke is ideal. You know where it's going to be when the throttle's at a certain position, whereas with these things you don't know what the hell they're going to do. But it's such a fun bike though, you know, in all honesty. Stalled again, like I don't know what it's playing at. It can normally tick along and do its own thing quite easy, but not today. Not today, Mal, is it? Right, ladies and gents, that brings us to the end of another video then. As I mentioned before, we got new episodes every Thursday, so hopefully you'll stay with us, and I'll see you then.